Hello, welcome to another tonalist landscape oil painting demonstration. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy. And the painting I'm bringing you today is called Dayglow. It's a 7x14 and I painted it, I don't know, a couple days back. I finished it, had the drawing done for a few days, and what we're doing right now is the drawing stage. You can see I'm working on hardboard. Now it looks like there's nothing on the hardboard, but it is gesso prepared with two coats of transparent gesso. And I think on another video it's Liquid brand. I meant Liquitex. Liquitex clear gesso. Great stuff. I really recommend it. Yeah, because I don't like working on white. Working on a ground color is one of the big innovations of the Renaissance, and working on white is okay. People do it. And when you work on white, you need to lay down some kind of, maybe a little more of an underpainting kind of thing. But when you're working on, this is like brown, reddish brown, that hardboard color. Uh, it just supports you. Little bits of it will peek through. I just did a sepia tone painting the other day, and I left all kinds of it just showing through. And it's fine. Yeah. That's what the board's prepped with. Now, what am I painting with? Well, I'm doing my drawing slash underpainting with burnt umber, and burnt umber doesn't always strike you as a red, but there's a lot of red in it. It's definitely a red. And what I'm doing is thinning that down with a bit of fast drying painting oil, and the brand I use is Archival Oils brand odorless lean, and it works great. It works very much like liquid, but it's cheaper, and I prefer more of an oil type of medium than the gel, which when you start brushing the liquid it turns into a liquid anyway. So liquid's cool, and I do use liquid for coating my paintings after they're done, so that all the dull matte areas are dealt with. Anyway, so I have painted this scene before, and I did paint it as a panoramic, and it's based on a landscape that I came across in my travels. It's like sort of volcanic rocky outcrop with these pine sort of trees, and yeah, I painted it before a bit smaller. It was a 5x10, which doesn't seem a lot smaller in size than 7x14, but 7x14 definitely seems bigger. And the 5x10, I've kept it because I really liked it. I may do a few other things this painting. I'm not positive about that. I see it's in the drying area right now, and if you don't have a little drying area, a place where you keep your paintings, usually I have it off to the side. And it's a good place to, you're having your coffee or your tea, or listening or visiting with a friend or whatever. Um, it's great to just kind of gaze at your work that you've done recently, and lots of times things might jump out at you that you need to address. One thing I'm thinking about is there's an area, so you see our big tree that's on our left. There's the next tree there's a rocks, and then the next tree, there's like this little horizontal area that goes into the tree, and it just seems a little flat to me. So I'm going to do something, I don't know what, but for the most part lately I've just been getting my paintings done in usually either two sessions where I do a underdrawing, underpainting slash drawing. Sometimes I let it dry, sometimes I just jump right into the color. Um, and then full color pass, and a lot of times I've just been leaving it there, especially since I've been popping things into the store, and this will be in the store eventually, but I want to maybe address that little spot there. And yeah, so we're going in with the color, and let's see if I can break that down for you, because I know you're probably interested. Now on my palette, I have a purple, and a lot of people might think, oh, you don't really need purple on your palette, you can mix it, but the purple I use is dioazine purple, and you really can't mix that purple. You can never get it with any combination of blue and red pigment. It'll never happen. Prior to that, I also have, say, I might have alizarin crimson. I've had alizarin crimson in my palette since the very early days. And some kind of blue like phthalo blue and a little white. You're going to get a purple, but it won't be like real purple. It'll always be kind of half-hearted, and so that's the purple that I used. But I also did use quite a lot of alizarin crimson, ivory black. In the sky, we're using ivory black. Actually, get that kind of bluish tone. That's a little bit of phthalo blue with some yellow ochre. And I didn't use a lot of phthalo blue in this painting, but I did pull a little. In fact, when I first mixed it, if you listen to the live video in the members area, I'm going on about how I'm going to pull it off with just a gray, but that didn't look right. So I hit it with a tap of phthalo blue. And a good lesson for you there is like, it's good to set up like parameters. I always do like, oh, I'm gonna avoid these colors in this painting, or I'm just going to use this part of the color wheel in this painting. But if you need to make an exception, then make it, because you won't be around for most of the lifetime of the painting. God willing, the painting doesn't burn or something. But if the painting survives, it's going to last for hundreds of years after you've come and gone. So, or even something like this video, for example, the painting will outlast all of this, assuming again it doesn't burn. But and the painting is, there's not going to be anyone to tell a story. The painting's got to stand on its own. So if that was a color that needed to be there, then get it in there, right? Because at the end of the day, this is one of my problems with a lot of modern art, that without someone standing there and telling you why you should care about it and what it means, you just look at it and go, oh, this doesn't look like anything to me. Maybe it's got some aesthetic attributes. If it does, then okay, you can use it to decorate your house, right? Which is, by the way, all I would expect anyone would do with one of my paintings as well. It's a totally valid reason for a piece of art to exist, is to decorate your home. I'm not saying anything otherwise, but what I am saying is that if you're responding to a picture like this one, it's because it's striking an emotional chord, and that's been arrived because it's resonating with the chord that I was striking when I created the painting. That's what I'm all about, and that doesn't require a dialogue or diatribe. It doesn't require me to be here talking about it, although I'm happy to. Gosh knows, as you know, Michael likes to talk, and he burbles his way through all these videos. But well, let's talk about the lighter colors. So we talked about the other part of the spectrum, but a lot of yellow ochre in this painting, and I like yellow ochre for skies, because it doesn't really punch you like that cad yellow would. But in the lightest bit, one of the colors, and you'd hear this again in the members area where I'm talking about mixing my colors. As I mix them, I pre-mix a set of colors, but I'm constantly adjusting that. Sometimes immediately adjusting that. But one of the things that I'll tend to mix, take me a little longer to mix, is the lightest colors in the sky, because it's kind of it's a fine line between being too bright and too what I would call monocolored or whatever. It's like, so say oh, you want to mix a light color like I mix. You go, yeah, I'm going to start with white. Well, the first thing I do would be maybe start with some yellow ochre, okay? Not a ton of it, because you're making a light color, and then I'm just going to give you some great tips, and these are the kind of tips, again, you get in the members area, so all the time. I would add some raw umber to that. A little bit of yellow ochre, a little bit of raw umber, and then start bringing in your white. And then if you say you want to cast it a little cooler, bring in a tiny bit of ivory black or something like that. But the reason for, say, adding the raw umber and or the ivory black is that you have to have a certain amount of complexity in your white. If your white is just mixed with white and yellow, it will seem really fake, and a lot of amateurs make this kind of mistake. And then, of course, they make the mistake of making things overly muddy as well. But I'm of the school of thought when it comes to color mixing that your colors should have a certain amount of complexity to feel natural. So if I say I'm going after a green, I could mix, yellow and blue and get a green. But that green don't look like anything in nature. You've got to start bringing other things into it. In fact, I almost never, by the way, almost never make a green with yellow and blue. I can't remember the last time I did that, but my primary green would be, and just, heck, you made it to the 10-minute mark. Listen to me burble. So again, this is, I got to keep selling the members area to you because I think it's a great value. You're going to get for $6 a month, something like 200 live videos, and lately I'd say the last 20 or so, and I have seen a boost in the membership because I've been endeavoring to do more teaching as I'm painting. So prior to that, a lot of times you just get the live painting session and I might drop a remark here and there. But I'm really endeavoring to make it a good value for people, which I think it was even without that, but you're getting pretty cheap, like painting lessons. If you like the sort of thing I do, you're going to get a lot of insight into it. And you even get an insight in these 15-minute videos, to be honest. So, but getting back to the thing I was going to drop on you, where I say, green. So most of your, let's talk about green. We got, 5 minutes. That might be enough time. If you're buying tube greens, people buy their sap green, they buy the phthalo green, they buy the permanent green light. None of those actually. Sap green, yeah, you could do without much adulteration in some parts of your painting, but even there you would want to adulterate it. But my base green is a combination of acrylide yellow, which from Gamblin is called Hansa yellow, but just look up I don't know the painting code by heart, but if you type acrylide yellow into a Google search, you'll get the pigment, and you'll find in a lot of colors that are like a student grade of what it calls a cadmium hue or something like that. They're going to be doing it with acrylide yellow. So acrylide yellow looks very similar in color to cadmium, but where it's very different is the cadmium is very, 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 very opaque and very strong, where acrylide is the same color tone in most cases, but way less strong and semi-transparent. And so when I mix that with ivory black, I get a green that is really warm, really natural, and the basis for like a lot of the greens that I do. And you know what's hilarious is there's no green in this landscape at all. So why I'm talking about greens, I don't know. I'm just trying to give you some helpful information. That's what I'm all about. Yeah, but interestingly, yeah, I decided to go nowhere near green on this. I made a conscious decision that I would paint those trees with purple and reds and yellow ochre. And yellow ochre has almost a little greenish-ness to it, depending on what brand you're painting with. But it's not a green, especially. By the way, let's, we got a minute left here. Let's talk about purples. When I'm dealing with purples, they're almost way too bright. If that diazine, by the way, you can't even tell it's that purple until you add a little bit of white, and you go, oh my goodness, this reminds me of like a super bright felt pen color or something like that, or a Crayola. Really, really screaming bright. First thing I'll do is bring in a little yellow ochre into that, just to make it feel like a more natural color. And there's tons. All of these purples here are stepped on with things like yellow ochre. I also like to throw in the raw umber. I love to throw raw umber into lots of different colors because it makes things feel more natural and gives you, especially if you're going for the toneless thing, you don't want screaming color. You don't want color that's punching you. You need things to kind of resonate together and kind of hum. Anyway, by the way, today is like Christmas Eve here in New Zealand, so Merry Christmas to you. And let's hope next year is a lot better than this last year has been. It's been such a hard year for so many people, and my heart and prayers go out to all of you, and I hope that you're getting some good painting done and enjoying your family, especially at this time of year. And until I come back with another video, Do me a favor, do me a solid. Take good care of yourself and your family, all your loved ones. God bless you, and stay out of trouble. Happy New Year. Happy Christmas. I love you all.